Hi everybody, Todd here, joined by Mori. How are you?
Eh,
Yeah,
I'm okay.
yeah. It's been a few weeks, so
It's
yeah, it's been a few weeks, and we took some time off.
yep.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You took some time off, and
Yeah.
I did other projects, so there's that.
Right.
Um, this I there has not been a week that I haven't done at least one podcast.
Right.
I mean, last night I skipped. Well, last night I kind of skipped out on brothering around, and apparently they decided
I
to
did
take
too.
they decided to take the night off. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But I've been doing. Here's the thing. So the network has 3 shows. We got Pod Errors, which we record on Tuesday. We got Brothering Around, we record on Wednesday, and we got Gimmick Bag, which is what you're listening to right now. Thank you very much, by the way.
Yes.
Especially if you're listening to it through Radio Public. Honestly, my favorite app to use for listening to podcasts. So I thank you immensely if you're doing that. You listen to it on other platforms too, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and TuneIn. You can catch it on Twitch at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific on the corresponding day. For Gimmick Bag, that's Fridays. On Pod Errors, it's Wednesday, and then Thursday for Brothering Around, and Friday for Gimmick Bag. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, not Gimmick Bag. Pod Errors is turning into like a 2.5 hour podcast, like a weekly 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour podcast. It is.
Oh, good gravy.
Yeah, it happens. So like I'm just so drained after that, and it's like,
Yeah.
but I kept on pushing myself, and I hit a point yesterday. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I also rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I cried like a little bitch. So there was that.
Yeah.
That movie's got so many feels.
It does. Damn it.
I mean, you've seen it. I've seen
Yep.
it. Most of the listening audience has probably seen it already. I could have done without the overuse of the. The whole father subplot just felt like it went too long.
Yeah.
There was way more interesting stuff happening. Like I would have rather seen more of like Mantis and Drax. They're absolutely adorable together.
They are.
So I mean, there's that. But leading up to Infinity War, I've been rewatching all the Marvel films. So I've been doing that, and it's one of those things. Like there's not a bad one out of the bunch. That's the funny part. Some of them shouldn't have worked. Did. I mean, some of them I can't give them a fair shake until I watch them again. By that I mean Black Panther, because I really need to actually watch it for itself as opposed to watching it with a crowd of people that want to ruin the experience. So I mean, there's that.
Right.
So I mean, we talked about it on Pod Errors. Like we went through, like the whole episode was essentially about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was a pretty decent episode. The episode the week before that, when it was just me and Ray, shit. Did you hear that one? Oh, tissues.
Okay.
Tissues.
Okay.
Yeah. We get into some really serious stuff because, I mean, this is the dynamic I end up having with people. So, like, you put me and Ray together, and we end up talking like about very emotional things. You get me and Ballin together, and we end up talking a lot of geeky shit.
Right.
You get, you get me together with either Marco or Wes, and it's we can wax poetic on multiple different topics. And then I mean, obviously, you and I can kind of do the same thing, just
right.
a bunch of different shit, even the shit I don't understand. Like I just hearing you talk about crafting, that's a thing. So one day I'll understand this form of witchcraft known as crafting.
Someday.
But yeah, so it's fun, it's interesting. There's been a lot of things I've been thinking about doing since we took a little bit of a hiatus. One of which was because things haven't changed with Patreon since they backpedaled,
Right.
and it's been a few months, and I'm just like, maybe if they have another month where like nothing bad happens, maybe I'll reopen a Patreon for the network.
Sounds fair.
I think that might be a good option.
Right.
And what I'll probably do in that case is, I mean, it'll be probably similar tiers. There'll be no like getting the podcast early because there's just too many shows.
Right.
But I mean, there'll be a gimmick bag tier. There'll be a pod errors tier, where you can, by chance get, a shirt or something like that, or just get a network shirt or something like that, like, which would be really cool.
Or you could choose, or you could like make them like all the same, but like whatever team that people like more.
Exactly. That's another thing. That is another thing. I mean, there's a lot of different options there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned the team thing, because if you go on shop.spreadshirt.com/PressPaspodcast and look for the gimmick bag stuff, you can pick up either a Team Mori or a Team Todd shirt. What side are you on? It's kind of like a civil war, except for we're actually very civil. So.
Oh my god. Kudos to you, sir.
Yes.
I did not see that coming.
I'm wearing my delegate trousers today. Yeah, I mean, it's just little funny things. But yeah, I mean, we like, okay, so we're gonna get into wrestling stuff soon-ish. I mean, we kind of got to catch up on like what's been going on and everything like that, because I mean, we kind of haven't been around, and you guys may not listen to the other casts and know what's going on with us here on Gimmick Bag. But yeah, I mean, still looking for work.
Yep.
Been playing some really fun things lately. Hunt of the Reckoning, which went backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Nice. And it plays way better than it did. Like, it looks better and it runs better than it did on the original hardware.
Good.
It looks better and runs better. Now, mind you, it looked a little better on the 360 with backwards compatibility, but it ran worse than it did on the original hardware.
Right.
So now it runs like a fucking dream, and it's just it's so fucking fun to just kind of sit there and do the thing. Of course, I've been playing Overwatch as well. That's a thing that's been happening, and blah blah blah. And my new favorite game, Calculator. I've been playing a lot of Calculator. Basically, what that means is I set my Discord to say that I'm playing Calculator, and I sit there on my phone and fuck around with mobile games. Thanks, Marco.
Fantastic. Shout out to Marco there.
Yeah, big shout out to Marco. Yeah, check out his stuff, youtube.com /user/nerdinthebay. And you can check out his stuff. It's actually really good. Does a whole series on mobile gaming. It's fucking fantastic. He's the reason why I've been playing a lot of the Marvel Strike Force on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a rather addictive game. It's, I mean, I have characters at like level 47 now. I'm running a team with like Jessica Jones and Quake, and I'm like, this is fucking great. Like, this is everything I wanted. Thanos raids are out. Well, shit, I got to work on those so I can unlock him. But I mean, it's one of those things where I end up playing. I mean, obviously sitting and doing a ton of like looking for work. It's super exhausting.
It is.
It is a job in itself.
It really is.
It is a job in itself that does not pay. So, considering that, I do, I'll do that, and then I'll kind of make some food, watch something, and then I'll start playing games. Or like I'll realize, oh hey, I have a podcast in like an hour and a half, so let me just kind of watch another episode of something, or so on and so forth. So I mean, there's that. It's been a lot of fun. And I know you've had a busy past 2 weeks, so
yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff going on there.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I will say you've been missed.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very much. It's been, I don't want to say it's been weird, not doing, like, not having you on Brothering Around, like, it happens.
Yeah.
And I mean, every now and then we got to skip some weeks here because, real life stuff.
Yeah.
And, one thing I've said multiple times is, real life stuff, take care of. We can always kind of just take a week off or whatnot.
Right.
I wish I'd give myself that same advice, but I'm just like, no, I'll fucking do it. I'm dead tired. There's bourbon and gin. I'm drinking water, so the whiskey is right here.
Ah, good old
Jameson, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've been. Have you been playing anything lately, or?
I picked up Far Cry 5.
Fun.
Yay! Started playing that. So basically, it's
replacing The Witcher.
Not replacing The Witcher. It is basically Far Cry Hunting and Fishing Simulator 2019.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
It is actually really beautiful, and from what I've read from reviews, the story kind of falls a little bit flat.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. So
I'll have to see how that pans out. But I hear, well, other than that, the like ability to explore kind of sort of makes up for it. But so far, I've been having fun with it, and Nubis has been having fun with it.
Awesome.
I streamed a little bit of it yesterday. Surprise, surprise.
Well, I saw that. Like, it came as a huge surprise to me. Well, yes and no. I mean, kind of.
I don't normally stream on a Wednesday.
So that part of it shocked me.
Yeah.
But the part of basically, like, I was streaming yesterday, and Anubis comes in, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna see if I know it's it's a work night for Mori, but
right,
maybe she'll want to stream some stuff, and I'm just like, And I just judicially said, I'm just like, well, that's cool. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing is, like, work may have been really draining and just kind of want to relax, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what's going on with the podcast for
Mm-hmm.
last night. That's all I said. So, I mean, there
Yeah.
was that. And it's just like, oh, well, and it's like one of those situations where it's like, I've been kind of in a position like you're in right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I made a lot of mistakes, and I'll own up to that. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I have said is make as much time as you can,
Yeah.
and if that's something like playing a game together, that's great. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when it comes to the casts and stuff like that, whether it's this show, the other show, or whatnot, there's always going to be, it's always going to be there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so kind of do what you need to do. I mean, I'll still be here. It's just the
Right.
way it is. It's not.
Right.
I'll still be here, being like, all right, well, are we doing anything this week? No, cool, awesome. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I completely understand, and personally, um, as much as it hurts to think about it,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, it just brings up like, oh, I was with somebody for 12 fucking years, and they decided that they didn't care for me anymore, and then got married a
Mm-hmm.
few months later because that was a thing that they needed to do.
Yeah.
And then they got pregnant.
Oh boy. I will take a sip of vodka in solidarity with you, my friend. You
But-
have that Jameson, I'll
Yeah.
have my white girl vodka.
It's a cake vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. So you
Damn Skippy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, there was that, and like but if I look back on it, like I realized that like when I started streaming,
Mm-hmm.
I could have made more time.
Right.
It didn't help that I was working like anywhere between 40 and like 60 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing streams on top of that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that was also another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like my time management was such shit. And it's
Yeah.
like, whatever. I do realize that like if I do ever end up getting into another relationship with anybody, I'm not going to do that shit again.
Mm-hmm.
I do plan on having good times and spending as much time with them as I can. Of course, it's right now and just kind of here. Just,
Yeah. I know that feeling very well.
It's not a fun one. I mean, you
Yeah.
manage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
Life.
yeah. You, if I'm not mistaken, you also picked up some 3DS games.
Well, yeah. A lot of the older like DS games, and then some 3DS games. Mostly DS games. I don't want to talk about how much I might have spent on said DS games, but it was a lot.
Well, if
We basically went on a fuck, what is it? GameStop spree for like the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. I can't fault you for it. I know I got a little new addition to my collection, pop figures. So.
Oh yeah, so do I. We also went on a Hot Topic spree.
Ooh, fancy.
I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Ooh.
Because it's like one of the exclusive, like, what is it, 5,000 or some shit? Yeah, limited to 5,000.
Very cool.
the Pandorica Opens TARDIS figure. There was like 2 of them in the store I was in.
I haven't even seen
So,
any of those.
I had to pick up one.
I have not even seen a single one of those.
Oh. Well, if you don't, I'll maybe... If I find another one, I'll probably get it for you. That is if I go to another Hot Topic in the future. Oh, Face of Bow. Interesting.
So now this is like the show and tell portion that you guys don't get to see.
But you get to hear it.
You get to hear it.
Yay!
So there's this one.
Servo! I love Servo. I'm a bit of a MST3K fan. Todd's also an MST3K fan.
Last I checked, you could still get those from ThinkGeek.
Oh, I might have to do that.
The Crow-T robot is a little bit harder to find right now.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that an 8-bit Jason Voorhees?
That is the 8-bit NES Jason.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that one actually, what happened was, considering that so I say that I don't have a job because I basically get a message saying, "Hey, can you come in?" Like
about once in a blue moon.
I work like 2 days a month, so
yeah,
which is really shit because it's just really shit. But so basically, what ended up happening was one of the last times I was there in March. I was just like, "Hey, do you guys have any of the 8-bit Jasons?" And they go, "No, we don't have any of those right now. We can see if another store has them," and looks for the regular 8-bit Jason. And I was like, "Well, there's a store over here. We could see if they could." I'm like, "Which 8-bit Jason is that?" It's like, "Oh, it's just a regular one." I'm like, "What about the NES one?" And they're just like, "Yeah, we don't have that one either." But there's a store here, and I'm like, "If you can, that would be awesome." And they had it transferred from one store to them, and then 8-bit Jason was mine. There's also an 8-bit Freddy from the NES.
Oh,
well,
really?
there's 2 8-bit Freddys. There's the standard one, and then there's the one from the NES game, NES Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street game. And I'm just like, "Oh, that'd be kind of cool," but Freddy's not really my wheelhouse, so there's that. So I now have a standard Jason. I have an NES 8-bit Jason, and then I have an unmasked Jason Dorbs. So, I mean, horror pop. I got the Pinhead Dorb. I got the unmasked Jason Dorb. Regular pop wise, I have 8-bit NES Jason, regular Jason, and Leatherface. I'm looking to add a Pinhead to my collection because, I mean, Hellraiser's such a great film to inform people on why you need safe words. So,
yeah. I mean, I haven't even seen the movie. I can tell you that in general.
It's just, I mean, it's one of those things. Like,
it's a very good practice, so I've heard.
Yeah, safe words are an amazing thing to have.
Another shot of vodka.
So it's funny when you have a discussion with somebody and it's just like, "Oh, okay," and then you go, "By the way, here's my safe word," and they're like, "What the fuck?"
What? Well then.
I didn't know we were, and I'm just like, "Wait, you don't have one? Like, what's a safe word?" Like, oh my god! And I like, have you ever seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
I might have when I was younger, but I probably don't recall it.
Okay, so near the end of the movie, there's all the chalices. All the grails there. and the
Right.
one guy picks one up because it looks like the grail of a king.
Mm-hmm.
Dips it in the water and he drinks it, and it's like, you chose poorly, and he just like instantly ages and and like just becomes a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I have a discussion and somebody doesn't understand what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
because it's either something that's like, oh, that's that 80s stuff I've heard so much about, or something like that, like that's how I feel. Like I'm just like, and like my skin will just start peeling off, and I'm just a skeleton sitting there. Like, yeah, it's just like, you found how to destroy me. Good job. But yeah, I mean, huh?
I'm good at that. I make everybody feel old.
I mean, what's funny is you have to remind me all the time, because I'm like, God, I'm old, and you're like, you're not that much older than me. And
you are 4 years older than me, mister. You are not that much older.
Yeah.
Just because you got to experience more of the 80s than I did doesn't make you fucking ancient, okay?
Yeah. I honestly feel like I was born in the wrong era anyway. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I love movies from like the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the exploitation films, like the cheap, let's kind of get them out really quick, fucking grindhouse style films. I love the shit out of them, no matter how low budget they are. It is terrific. I mean, you get some really good ones though. I mean, we've got some. I mean, of all the exploitation films, there's one actress which if somebody says, "Hey, have you seen this this movie with her in it?" and I haven't, I'm like, "You have it?" Because I will, you know. And that's Pam Grier. Pam Grier was an amazing fucking actress, and yeah, I mean, she went on to. She's not as big of a name as she should be, to be perfectly honest with you. She was in Escape from L.A. She played a role in that. She was in Jackie Brown. You know, she played one of the leads in that. But her movies from the 70s, you know, the exploitation films she did. I mean, yeah, some of them were considered blaxploitation films, but she also did like the Women in Cages films, where it was like, you know, women imprisoned, and then they kind of get back at the people that imprisoned them and shit. It's fucking terrific. And also, I mean, there was and they always had the goofiest fucking taglines. Like, there was one called Black Mama, White Mama, which was kind of like almost like a Woman in Cages type film. But her, like, she's chained to this white girl, and they're escaping together, and they absolutely fucking hate each other. It is terrific. And then you had her in the little detective. She, of course, she did Foxy Brown, and Coffee. Now, the reason why I mentioned they had the goofiest taglines was because of that movie Coffee. It to this day sticks with me. Where it was the tagline for the movie was "Coffee, she'll cream ya," and it was just like, and it's just well, like, then. Yeah, it was just like, well, because she was a badass chick. I mean, she just she gave zero fucks, and I mean, it was just little things like that. I mean, she was, with what she was given, and a lot of these films were filmed in the Philippines, because it was just so much cheaper to film there. They would get a crew out there, and they would film like 4 or 5 movies over the course of like a month, and then kind of release them like as they're finished editing. So, but yeah, I mean, it's rather interesting. It's rather interesting. But yeah, I don't know how we ended up talking about. Oh, that's because I feel like I'm born in the wrong. I was born in the wrong era.
Right.
I appreciate older technology. I really do. Older movies. I mean, even some older music. I mean, music nowadays is kind of garbage. Let's be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I remember, and was probably happened to you too.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, I was told your music taste will kind of stun itself after high school. You will find yourself looking at the music you listened to in high school as some of the greatest music you've ever listened to. There's going to be some shit in there that you're going to be like, no, not really.
Yeah.
But like a majority of it, like to this day, I'll still go back to songs I've listened to. Like I was listening to like ninth grade, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, this takes me back. And I realized that was like almost 20 years ago. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, shit. Yeah, I mean, it's funny as we were having a discussion and having a discussion with somebody yesterday on a stream and talking about how like I did the math and I'm like, I've been out of high school for 16 years. What in the flying fuck? You
Mm-hmm.
know? And it's just like my 10-year reunion came around and it came and went and I was just like, I want no part of that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Why do I want to go and see a bunch of assholes I didn't like when I went to school?
Mm-hmm.
You know, to go and find out if I was right about how many of them got pregnant at prom. It didn't show until after graduation. I mean, funny little side note to that.
Uh-huh.
There was my senior year. There was this one girl was being a real bitch to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
go, I don't because I'm relatively open about the way I think and some of the things I enjoy, and one of those kind of people that was just like, no, that's immoral and that's wrong and blah blah blah. So I kind of just fired back with, I would not be surprised if after high school the only job you can get is working on a pole. Fast forward 2.5, almost 3 years. It was a
Uh-huh.
buddy's birthday, and
Uh-huh.
I hate strip clubs. I really do. But
Yeah.
it was his birthday, and he said, "This is what I want to do for my birthday." And I'm like, "All right, you want to do that? Then cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with."
Mm-hmm.
And guess who was on the stage? That girl. And I was just
Were you just like front and center, just like, arms crossed, just smiling and nodding?
no, I
It's like, I
didn't.
knew it.
I'm no, because the thing is like once you get near the stage or
Uh-huh.
or any
Does
sort of
weird shit happen? I've never been in a strip club and I'm required to ever go.
so the thing is like when you're near the stage, they expect you to tip.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
bad enough that while you're in there, like they'll like the ones that the dancers that aren't on stage or giving dances in the back are
Mm-hmm.
basically walking the floor asking people they want dances. So the whole
Mm-hmm.
time I'm just like, nah, I'm good. And they're like, are you sure, sweetheart? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm very sure. And it's just like,
I've never understood the idea of paying someone to give you a boner.
yeah,
I
no,
don't get it.
I don't understand the whole like, hey,
Why?
let's go and let's go
Yeah.
to the club and basically get blue balls because that's exactly what you do.
Ugh.
I mean, if it's that bad for you, like, I mean, there's a thing called the internet, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and nobody needs to know what your kink is.
Mm-hmm.
You're into leather and lace? Great. Nobody needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
You like interracial? Fine, no problem. You like this? You like that? You're into trans women? Fine, no big deal. I mean, nobody's there to judge you because you're sitting there in the comfort of your own space,
Mm-hmm.
watching whatever it is that makes you happy,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, I've never, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the reason to go. I mean, well, okay. I don't see the reason to go unless there's a free buffet,
Mm-hmm.
because then I'll just sit there and fucking eat food while they're getting like their lap dances or whatever the fuck. I mean, I basically just Ron Swanson the shit out of it. It's like, oh, it's got a buffet, all right, yeah, I'm there. I'm gonna take this entire tray of bacon. They get kind of pissy.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
They get kind of pissy at you when you go there and you're not there to tip the girls or anything like that. You're just there to eat the free buffet. Like, just.
Mm-hmm.
And I say free buffet, but it's like usually like a $20 cover to get in. So it's like I paid $20 to eat this buffet, so I'm gonna eat as much as I can for $20. And then they charge for everything. Like, oh, you want water? That's $5. Great. Here's a 10. Okay, so here's a $5 bill back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, they won't do that. They'll give you two. Last time I went, it was around the time they started doing the $2 bill shit, where they'll give you two, like, you get, like, let's just say you're getting $5 in change. They'll give you a single, and then they'll give you two $2 bills.
Interesting.
And they try not to give out singles. They try not to, because if you just have $1 bills, then the girls aren't getting tipped as much.
Right.
As opposed to, oh, all I have is these $2 bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you stick them in the G-string, or you throw them on stage or whatever, or you just hold it up, and she kind of does that whole thing where she kind of does the hand bra and picks it up with her cleavage. I mean, which,
yeah,
I don't know. As you said, I don't understand the reason to go to one of these places just for a cock tease, because that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
If I wanted that, I would have stayed in high school. Shit. Oh, you're the smart guy who works in the AV room. And I could really use some help with a project I'm working on, and it's just like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Because I mean, I think you're a really nice guy. I'm good. I'm good. No, seriously, I think that you're really nice and you're charming and you're handsome. And I'm like, whoa, hold the fuck on.
Hang on.
I've only had that word thrown at me 5 times at that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
One was from a time that I had to wear a suit to a funeral. Oh, you look so handsome. Another time is when I had to wear a suit to a wedding. Oh, you look so handsome. And the other 3 times were when people wanted shit from me. I'm not wearing a suit. I'm not going to a wedding. I'm not going to a funeral. So what the fuck do you want? Yo. I just need some help. Like, I can't understand the editing program, and I mean, my camera work really isn't that good. So basically, you want me to go and film this motherfucker and then edit it for you so you can turn it in and get a good grade. Well, since you put it that way, I mean, I would do some work. I mean, we can come to some kind of arrangement, right? No, we can't. You're an asshole. Yeah, I know. Go fuck yourself. Try not to get pregnant on the way to your next class.
Oh my god.
Yep. Senior year had a lot of pregnant chicks. Freshman year had a lot of pregnant chicks too, so. Don't understand it.
Nah.
I just think that the whole concept of it is like, at that age you don't know what you want, and you make mistakes because you think you know what you want, and then you're just like, oh hey, or oh well, my friend's pregnant, so I gotta get pregnant too, so I can be like my friend. No, no, oh,
No.
but babies are so adorable when
No.
when they're asleep and they're not
Yeah,
and they're not screaming at 2 a.m. Like, enjoy
that too.
that shit, huh? Yeah,
That too.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, think of it this way: if you want to go to Disney now, you got to go and rent a stroller too. Because last I remember, they don't let you bring yours in. Ah, Disney. Magical place on earth.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Yep. But yeah. Uh
So, how are you?
I just feel like I got rid of like 12 years of baggage.
I think you did.
Like 12, 13 years of baggage. That's a thing. It's a thing that happened. But yeah, so anyway, let's kind of get into the wrestling stuff because there is a lot to cover.
Right.
There is a lot to cover. Obviously, there was Mania. We did a pretty good breakdown of that, and the shows, the Raw and SmackDown after that on Brothering Around, and I think that was episode 53. So I would definitely check that out if you want to kind of know more about that. All I can tell you is it was a very, very long week. It was a very long weekend. And yeah, Takeover was great. Takeover was amazing. The Wrestlemania itself was pretty good. It had some high points. It had a lot of high points, and it had a couple glaring low points. So I mean, there was that Daniel Bryan's back. That was a thing.
Yay.
Very cool, very awesome. I was so excited about that. I mean, and he, for the work he did, because I mean, he was he did a lot of work. In the match, and he sold his ass off though, and I mean, he went over very fucking strong.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was really cool. The biggest thing for me, and this has been like a fucking running thing now, the Nakamura heel turn.
Yeah.
Which, holy shit, it is the best thing that I've ever wanted.
I mean, well, for me at least, I'm kind of tired of him, hitting AJ in his nuts all the time now.
Well, I mean,
it's like every single Nakamura thing I see on Twitter is like him strong arming AJ in the balls.
Well, I mean, they don't call him Cock Nakamura for nothing.
Fair enough.
So I mean, there's. Yeah, I mean, it's just they've been building that up like now, where it's like Shinsuke's got a modified theme. Like, I wouldn't even say it's a new theme, because I mean, his old theme, Rising Sun, was violins and so on and so forth and drums. Now there's guitars involved. There's a singer singing in Japanese, which is really fucking cool. And it just has enough edge to be a heel theme. But if they do turn him face, it works as well. So it's very neutral.
Right.
I think it's a good step. I really do. I mean, we had the Superstar shakeup, and that was interesting.
Yes.
I mean, there was pull up the full list. So, it's just like, oh, who won? Blah blah blah. No, I want to know the fucking. Okay, here. All right, so Raw picked up Jinder and Sunil Singh, the Riot Squad,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin and Sammy, Zack Ryder, Breezango, Natalia, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Mike Kanellis, The Ascension, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up 14 fucking people.
Right.
SmackDown got The Miz,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hardy,
Mm-hmm.
Absolution, Samoa Joe, Sanity. Now, there's an asterisk on this because
Right.
they got Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane.
So where's Nikki Cross?
Nikki Cross is staying in NXT.
Ugh.
Big Cass,
Yay.
Asuka,
Eh.
Carl Anderson, and Big LG.
Mhm.
Good brothers there, which is nice. Sheamus and Cesaro, R-Truth, Andrade Cien Almas, and Zelina Vega.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 3 call-ups from the Superstar Shakeup.
Mm-hmm.
And SmackDown got technically, well, I say there was 3, but there was technically 4 because of the manager. It says male wrestler and female manager, even though she is a worker and she can work. And
Right.
hopefully we'll start seeing her do some stuff on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, SmackDown got 3 NXT call-ups. Well, they got a group call-up, and then they got which that's 3 call-ups right there. And then you got the Andrade and Zelina call-ups. So 5 call-ups there versus 1 call-up on Raw, which is, I mean, 6 people who leaving NXT is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. It's, I mean, and Gallows and Anderson have already basically aligned themselves back up with AJ,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good move. Especially with Nakamura now. Big Cass has a second lease now because, I mean, he's back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
He did, the stink of Enzo is finally gone off of him.
Yeah.
So there's that. Absolution's there because Paige is there. Paige here. Troll face. Fucking god damn it. So with Jinder going to Raw, he brought the US title. Jeff Hardy won it off Jinder on Raw, and then he was drafted to SmackDown. So
for fuck's sake.
So the belts stayed where they needed to be.
Right.
Though I would have liked to see the Intercontinental title come over to SmackDown and US title stay on Raw. That's just me.
Yeah.
So here's the interesting some of the interesting bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's all the pay-per-views are it's going to be 1 pay-per-view a month now, and it's going to be dual show, so that's not a big issue. The Raw tag titles, we got to get into that. So at Mania, if you didn't watch or didn't hear by now, Braun Strowman and Nicholas, the youngest champion in the WWE, beat Sheamus and Cesaro for the tag titles.
Yep.
The following night, they relinquished the titles because Nicholas has some prior commitments because, I mean, he's in the 4th grade. So that's a thing. It kind of sucks. He had to give up the title. So the Raw tag titles are vacant, which they should stay.
Mm-hmm.
But Sheamus and Cesaro are challenging for the Raw tag titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is, in about 12 hours from the time we're recording this.
Right.
Against the leaders of worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, the Superstar shakeup was actually rather shocking. Zack Ryder kind of went out, like, he got pulled off of the Greatest Royal Rumble because of a suspected injury. He had it checked out. It was just a bad sprain, so no surgery or anything like that. It was a knee injury, so, and he pretty much just got back from one. So, I mean, that's what him and Mojo won a number one contenders match for the for SmackDown tag titles, and he had gone out with an injury at that match. And then they had to forfeit the number one contender spot, and so on and so forth. So it's just it's just a fucking mess. But we have the Greatest Royal Rumble coming up tomorrow, or later today in my case. This is just I don't understand this. I do not understand this. Let me see if I can. There is a controversy about the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's taking place in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has very strict rules when it comes to women and their culture. So because of that, there is no women booked on the show.
Right.
There's no women traveling to Saudi Arabia for this, which I think is a good idea anyway. The card itself has 10 matches announced. So, getting women wrestling in there right now is probably not the best idea. You're trying to build this, because apparently this is going to be a thing they do a year now. Where they're going to do, after Mania, there's going to be this Saudi Royal Rumble thing going on. So, I don't know. But anyway, we have, so the card is as follows. We have the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is a 50-man Royal Rumble. So that'll be happening. We have Seth Rollins defending against Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and The Miz.
Interesting.
Defending the Intercontinental title. Now, 2 of those people are on SmackDown.
Yeah.
We have Jeff Hardy against Jinder Mahal once again.
Yay.
Yeah, one of them's on Raw, one is on SmackDown. The Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy versus Sheamus and Cesaro for the vacant tag titles, which we already talked about. The rematch from Mania. Well, before we get into that, we have Cedric Alexander defending against Kalisto. He was supposed to be defending against Buddy Murphy, but Buddy Murphy could not make the weight. He weighed in at 207 pounds, which is over the weight limit.
Damn.
Yeah. And they're like, well, you just failed to weigh in, so we got to give the opportunity to somebody else. So they did a gauntlet to name the new challenger. I mean, that weight limit's kind of shit anyway. We have Triple H versus John Cena, because you got to have a marquee match like that, you know.
Of course.
Then you have The Undertaker versus Rusev. I mean Chris Jericho. I mean Rusev, because they've changed the match fucking twice. In a casket match. So that's actually a pretty big deal. And then we have our return matches. We have the Bludgeon Brothers defending against the Usos. And when I say return matches, I'm talking about from Mania.
Right.
We have AJ defending against Shinsuke,
Mm-hmm.
and we have Brock versus Roman in a steel cage.
Ugh.
Oh, I should also mention that Seth Rollins' IC title defense is a ladder match. So you got a steel cage match. Well, you got a rumble. You got a steel cage. You got a ladder, and you have a casket match. You have 4 specialty matches, and then everything else is, I mean, other than tags, obviously, everything else is just man on man. You know, it's just 1-on-1, which I'm actually really thrilled about. But yeah, I mean, it's just, part of me is excited, part of me is not about this card. It's going to be nice seeing The Undertaker work a match for more than like longer than his intro.
Right.
I mean, Trips and Cena, they've been doing this for so goddamn long. They're not going to put on a bad match.
No.
Cedric Alexander Kalisto, I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. With the way that they did the cruiserweight match on at Mania, it kind of changed my view on the way that they're doing on the way that they're presenting the cruiserweights, which is refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Bludgeon Brothers, Usos, I love Harper and Rowan, and the fact that they just want to destroy shit. Give them the tag belts. They have the tag belts. Let them keep the tag belts. Bray and Matt need it more. Like, obviously, they're the Raw tag team. So unless they want to give it to Sheamus and Cesaro and then have Sheamus and Cesaro drop them to the Bludgeon Brothers to unify the tag titles. I mean, Matt and Bray kind of are picking that one up. That's a no fucking brainer.
Right.
We should probably do picks on this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll start from the bottom of the list. Well, the list that I have.
Right.
Taker and Rusev.
Taker.
I think this could be Rusev's day. No pun intended.
But every day is Rusev Day.
It is. But it would be a way for them to kind of write Taker off for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
The casket match, like, he does not have a great history in casket match. So, I mean, there's that. Like,
Searching for things.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just... So, okay. Actually, he's got a slightly better record than... No, yeah. Okay. So, the first one, he won. The second one, he lost. The third one, he won. Fourth one, he won. Fifth one, he won. Against the same person, by the way. Sixth one, he won. Seventh one, he lost. Eighth one, he lost. Ninth one was a no contest.
Right.
Because both men destroyed the casket from the inside. Then Taker won the next one. Then there's like 2 of them that he wasn't involved in, so that's no big deal. Then he lost the next one. He won the next. Yeah, all right. So he's got a decent record with casket matches. Fair. I think that it's a way for them to kind of keep him off TV, first off.
Mm-hmm.
And then also elevate Rusev. Because Rusev's selling a lot of merch. So
He is.
So, like any day, there are rumors about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It is believed 3 to 4 titles will change hands at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a comment made by Jim Cornette on Jerry Lawler's podcast, where, well, first off, WWE's will make between 100 and 200 million just for putting on the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. That's a pretty big deal. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And Cornette kind of reinforced that it's being paid millions and millions and millions, just more money than you've ever seen for the event. Waller mentioned he believes the company's women wrestlers are getting a heck of a payoff for the Greatest Royal Rumble despite not being able to work the show.
Okay.
Which, sorry we can't have you on the thing, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, here, this is what you would have made on it, you know?
Right.
Backlash, looks like Ronda Rousey and Mickie James will be a thing. Ziggler and McIntyre's team name looks like it's going to be The Show. And and right now, the way it stands, the favorite for winning the Greatest Royal Rumble is Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
They expect Roman, you know, based on betting odds and stuff. It's expected that Roman's going to go over, AJ's going to go over, Taker's going to go over, Cena's going to go over,
Mm-hmm.
Matt and Bray are going to go. So, I mean, that's what's
Right.
expected.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, apparently WWE made an offer to Shawn Michaels to compete in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently there's a lot of guys they're going to be bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have guys that are on the roster and stuff, but you're also going to have guys that don't work for the company anymore or they don't compete anymore.
Right.
So there's a good chance we might see Shawn Michaels. Sean Daivari and Hornswoggle are both apparently in Saudi Arabia, working with the WWE on this. So
interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It really, really is. Both former talent. I don't know. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Taker Rusev, you had Taker, I took Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
Cena and H, I want H to win just so he can pin him with his bulge in Cena's face and Cena can get another erection.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Triple H as well.
I think Cedric Alexander is going to retain over Kalisto.
Yeah.
Bludgeon Brothers are going to retain.
Right.
Matt and Bray are going to retain. Are going to
go over.
Going to go over. But I think. think Jinder is going to regain the U.S. title.
Yeah.
There's logic behind this, so
Mm-hmm. I would certainly fucking hope so.
I think there's a chance Shinsuke may get the WWE Championship this time around.
Possible.
So I'm gonna go with him on that. So this is why I said I think Jinder's gonna go over and regain.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it might go to Samoa Joe. And he's a SmackDown guy for the IC title. It'll either go to him or The Miz. Because, I mean, The Miz, giving him the titles is a smart move, especially with the program he's building up with not only Daniel Bryan, but also Big Cass. So, and then, for lack of better judgment, I think Brock's going over.
Yeah.
Um,
I just don't want to pick.
You just don't want to pick
Yeah.
Broman?
No.
Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And then, of course, I'm thinking, I mean, I like D-Bry. I like D-Bry for the Greatest Rumble, but without knowing who exactly is in it, it's really hard to pick that.
Yeah. I'm still gonna bet on D-Bry though.
Yeah, you're going D-Bry on that one.
Yeah.
You're going Brock on the other one.
Yeah.
Who in the IC title?
Run the names by me again.
Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and The Miz.
Oh, I'm gonna go wild card and say Finn.
Fair. AJ and Shinsuke.
Shinsuke.
Jeff and Jinder.
I'm gonna go with Jeff. For funsies.
We both kind of agreed on Bray and Matt.
Yeah.
Bludgeon Usos.
Bludgeon Brothers.
And then the cruiserweight between Cedric Alexander and Kalisto.
Cedric.
So we got a pretty similar pick lineup. The only real differences were the secondary titles. I mean, how many times have we done picks and it's like it comes down to one fucking match?
Oh god. Too many.
Yeah. I remember when you were winning every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then there was that one and it kind of turned the tide where it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Started thinking like a teenager again. So it's like, oh, this is what's going to happen. So there is a list of some of the entrants. Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle, Apollo Crews. Yes, he has the name back.
Don't know why, but okay.
Titus O'Neil, Elias, Goldust, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Chad Gable. Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Shelton Benjamin, Sin Cara, Chris Jericho, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon. Really?
Yeah.
Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, the Great Khali, Mark Henry. Those are the ones that have been announced.
Right.
Kane and Big Show were originally entered into the match, but they were removed. Bray Wyatt was originally a member of that match as well. So, but yeah, I mean, the whole controversy with like the whole women in thing, it's just I mean, it's a whole cultural thing. really, you got to be very careful when you deal with cultures, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in my opinion, the way they do things is not right, but that's my opinion,
Right.
you know? Um, it's, we're in the 21st fucking century, and some countries in that region are just now allowing women to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's fucking outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just it's a really weird situation. A very, very situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what else is what else have we not covered? Oh,
Um.
Triple H laid out plans for global expansion of NXT.
Oh.
So, um, basically, this was part of the 2018 business partner summit,
Mm-hmm.
which took place during WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
However, it just got released on the company's corporate site this past week, and it's essentially what he wants to do is create territories in other countries
Mm-hmm.
that are basically run by the WWE as a
Mm-hmm.
way to kind of get brand awareness to people in those countries. Um, and not only do that, but once somebody hits a certain point in those systems, they can bring them right in to NXT and have them ready. You know, so it's like,
Right.
or even bring them right into the main roster. So
Mm-hmm.
it's this whole. I remember when the UK title thing happened, and I was just like, what they should do is kind of set up territories, and Europe's a territory, Middle East is a territory, um, part of Asia is a territory,
Mm-hmm.
South America is going to be a territory. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
this is this is rather interesting. Um, the way they're going about this, like there's the June UK shows in London, which so the quote is, the June UK shows in London will kick off the next step in the evolution of our European brand. And we're not stopping there. We're taking action in regions all across the world. Greatest Royal Rumble and the 10-year agreement with the Saudi General Sports Authority includes localized tryouts, training, a possible on the ground performance center, and even a Middle Eastern brand. Um, so I mean, there's that. That is rather interesting. It also allows them to kind of have the infrastructure in there. So when they do tour, they don't have to, like, if they want to do for example, they want to do like a Raw or a SmackDown or even a pay-per-view
Mm-hmm.
overseas, they have the
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure there. They don't have to ship all the fucking equipment over. So that's actually pretty damn impressive. I mean, there was
Right.
some criticism because the way it was worded, because apparently Shane McMahon tried to do this about 10 years ago before he
Mm-hmm.
left the company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Trips doesn't, Paul didn't say it was his idea. Um, the calling it a global expansion was, that's, he's taking credit for that terminology, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not a new idea. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, it's an exciting time. Um, it is an exciting time. You know, there's just so much. so much wrestling going on, so much, whether it's on the independents, whether it's in Ring of Honor, New Japan, All Japan. All Japan's got a streaming service now. Like that's fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
WWE, you know, when I said independence, I also meant Impact. I know they have a TV deal, but
Right.
basically a fucking independent, which isn't a bad thing. It really isn't. They have a lot of great talent there, a lot of great work, and I mean, it sucks. It sucks that those workers kind of get stuck with that stigma and that bullshit of, oh well, we're the, you know. I mean, AJ was there. AJ was in TNA, Impact, whatever the fuck you want to call them, for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
You spent way too much time there. I mean, it helped them out, but it didn't do any favors for him.
Right.
Now, that's just hindsight. Of course, when he did go to Japan on his own, because he had done stuff in Japan with Impact or with TNA.
Mm-hmm.
But when he went there on his own, it was like the right time, right place. You know, you had Carl Anderson, you had the, you know, Fergal Devitt leaving New Japan, you had AJ coming in. It's a perfect fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting, man. It's just wrestling's fucking weird.
It is fucking weird.
I mean, you end up saying that a lot. Like when we're just having discussions about stuff, and it's just like wrestling's fucking weird, man. It's like yeah, it kind of is. But I mean, could be worse. Could be a lot worse. You know, that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. True. Very true.
We kind of just blew through the entire like wrestling stuff like super quick because I'm just like I still have that mania fatigue where I'm just like I want to, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that's the point I'm at. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I know I know there's a show tomorrow. I'm gonna watch that, and I'm like, fuck my life.
Yep.
I'll probably watch that while playing like some Overwatch or some shit.
There you go.
It's just like, I'll do a thing with a thing and just hope for the best. But it's probably not going to be the best idea. I'll probably end up doing something else then. It's like, fuck it. I don't know. I don't even know how long the show's going to be. That's the other thing.
I figured that they would prepare you for that.
I mean,
maybe a little bit.
Is it going to be like a 4-hour show?
I hope not.
Well, then you got to factor in the pre-show if they do one. So, so you're looking at like a 4 or 5 hour show. That is kind of fucking gross. Yeah. Yep. That was the face you made is the exact way I felt. That just like nope. Nah. Yeah, I'm good. Nope.
Do not want.
Yeah.
Do not want.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, are you streaming this weekend?
Yes, that is the plan.
Nice.
I'm kind of excited to be getting back into it. Anubis really twisted my arm yesterday with the, oh, hey, we should play this, and hey, maybe you could stream it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. Why not?
So what kind of things are you planning on for your stream this weekend?
See, I think we're going to be playing more of Far Cry tomorrow on Friday. And then I think for Stack Up, I'm probably going to do more Witcher. After that, I have no goddamn idea.
Yeah, because
I'll have to see how I feel.
because the last Friday stream you did
Mm-hmm.
was
This
wow.
like it was the beginning of the month, and
Yeah.
we're already at the end of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was World of Warcraft. That was
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I will quote you on the thing you
Mm-hmm.
said because Anubis was like, hey Todd, maybe you should start playing WoW, and you're like, don't fall down that rabbit hole. Like,
Don't go there.
yeah,
Don't you dare.
nope,
Don't do it. It's a
yeah.
tarp.
What happened?
Don't do it. It's a tarp.
It's a tarp.
It's a tarp.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just there's so many games to play. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest thing. There's so many games to play right now. So much shit out there,
Yeah.
and I mean, arguably, I have the time to play a game like WoW,
Mm-hmm. Do you really want to sell your soul though?
but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Blizzard Array got me on Overwatch. They're not fucking getting me on something else.
Yeah.
And then, what is it? You got a new Destiny expansion coming out like anytime now.
Shit, that's right. Keep forgetting about that game.
Most of their community did.
But
That wasn't even me taking a shot. That was just
I know. It's even better.
like their whole like that game got so much fucking backlash. And the thing is,
Oh yeah.
it's like, so you've played Destiny 2. I have
Yeah.
not.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Destiny 1.
Right.
And I only did the first year because of the shit they pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And remember before Destiny 2 came out, what did I say? I'm gonna give it a year and see how things turn out.
You made the smart choice.
Yeah.
I just kind of went with the,
You went with
if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you do the same thing? I kind of did that, and I'm regretting every second of it.
Fair. It's just so like when year 2 happens for Destiny 2, because you know that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to pick up that expansion?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I have a season pass, so I'm kind of.
So no, but that's only good for the first year.
Fuck.
That's the 2 expansions, and then they release a pseudo reboot, which is your year 2 content.
I'll see how this next DLC goes and weigh my options then, or wait for it to come out and see how it's received, and then maybe proceed. Maybe.
Yeah, the big problem. I mean, I've talked about this before with Destiny 1.
Mm-hmm.
The first year's worth of content was $120.
Right.
To basically play a beta for the expansion that came out.
Mm-hmm.
In year 2.
Yeah.
Which $60 got you all that content.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck's this shit? But year 2 they added the microtransactions, the Eververse store. You had to buy your silver and so on and so forth. Destiny 2 made so many missteps.
They did.
I'm not the person saying, oh, you're enjoying a game I don't like. You're wrong. I'm not that person. If you enjoy the game, you enjoy the game. There's people that enjoy Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm not going to shit on them because they enjoy Battlefront 2. I mean, I myself, I play games people don't like. That's if I enjoy a game, that's all that matters. I mean, you look at some of the people we know. I'll just throw out as like Sinea, right?
Yeah.
Sinea loves BioWare stuff. And BioWare gets a lot of shit, especially recently. And yeah, Andromeda kind of dropped the ball. There's no two two ways about it. They dropped the ball with that with Andromeda.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a better game. It felt rushed, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Like the game world, it's a massive world, but they could have used more time to kind of polish it up.
Right.
The game was so poorly received that all the
Mm-hmm.
single player DLC content that was going to come to the game is not.
Mm-hmm.
This includes the Quarians. Like there was a whole expansion supposed to be about like the Quarian arc.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening now. They're not releasing that. They've actually the only thing they're doing now with Andromeda is kind of just patching it. Like they're not even adding new content to the multiplayer, to my knowledge.
Ugh.
The game's essentially abandoned in a sense. I mean, it's getting updates, so there's that. Other than that, I mean, it's just they're working on Anthem. Hopefully, Anthem does something good.
Mm-hmm.
I have an interesting theory on why things have gone the way they have for BioWare.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people out there that are going to say, "Oh, it's because of fucking EA. EA owns them, and since EA's owned them, it's been shit." Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is, let's look at Dragon Age 2. Now, Dragon Age 2 had like a super short dev cycle, like shorter than it should have been. So they had to reuse a lot of the same textures and all the other stuff, right? The thing. EA kind of bailed them out to help finish production on Dragon Age 2.
Mm-hmm.
And BioWare devs have come out recently and said, if it wasn't for EA, we wouldn't have been able to finish Dragon Age 2 or make anything afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be no Mass Effect 3. There would be no there would have been no Dragon Age Inquisition or Andromeda. Now what's funny is there was a game people have said like, "Oh, well, it sounds like," somebody actually said, "Well, it sounds like BioWare kind of mismanaged their money." Yeah, that's exactly the way it sounds. If you look at the dev cycles on stuff, an MMO takes several years to develop. And typically it's in development at least a couple years prior to its announcement. So for BioWare, that was the Old Republic. And MMOs are fucking sinks when it comes to money.
Yeah.
So if you're throwing all your money into an MMO, well, no shit. Like, well, why? I don't understand where all the money went. Like, oh, it must have been, EA must have done something shitty to them. No, they were working on something larger than they should have. They were trying to pool as many resources into it as fucking possible, and it almost bankrupted the goddamn company. That's the way I look at it. People love the Old Republic. People love BioWare. I mean, you can't shit on them. You can't shit on those people just because you have a certain feeling about a company or a publisher or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I don't like movie wise. I'm not big on like the Fox Marvel films. I'm not gonna go and shit on, like, yeah, a lot of it does come down to the way that Fox operates their business and not wanting to work with others and so on and so forth, and wanting to have their toys a certain way. Like, oh, Marvel lent us these toys. We're going to break them as much as we can. Like, but just because of that, I'm not going to go and shit on everything Fox does.
Yeah.
You know? I might. If it's a bad idea, I will. But otherwise, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say this much. Once again, it is good to be back.
I agree.
It really is.
I miss.
A lot of fun.
It is.
But anyway, probably should be time for us to kind of wrap things up. You know, it's late for me to get this uploaded.
Yeah.
And it's getting late for you. And it's a school night, so that's whenever I had work. If I had work the next day, I always called it school nights because that's how it felt. But anyway, thank you guys very much for joining us for another edition of Gimmick Bag. Thank you guys very much for listening, for watching Twitch Archive, checking us out on the YouTube page. You can just search Gimmick Bag and pop up. Because we don't have the required amount to have a vanity name. Fucking bullshit. But if you guys do enjoy what we do here, obviously you can go to shop.spreadshirt.com, get yourself a shirt, help support the network, as well as there's Loot Crate. Loot Crate is an amazing service. They just announced a new crate, by the way, the Loot Fright crate, which is a horror-themed crate. They'll be releasing every month.
Nice.
So, actually really cool, really awesome. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I want to see what it is. But yeah, so there should be a link in the show notes for that, as well as a link to the Twitch page, twitch.tv/PressFestPodcast, and the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/ and then some weird ass string of letters and numbers. I wasn't about to go and just say, oh, here's the name, just fucking do the thing. But yeah, so thank you guys very much. For Mori, Todd, hope you guys have a great day, great night, great evening, whatever time it is for you. Thanks for downloading, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Later.
Bye.